Sweet. So welcome to another episode of Sludge Underground. Brother, introduce yourself and what it is you do.
I'm Aidan Fraser and I am a musician. I make music.
Yeah, you're a solo artist, right?
Yes.
Like I was listening to your stuff last night and throughout today as well. What would you define yourself as? Like I was looking at kind of like an electro pop vibe with some other like elements thrown in there, which was really cool.
Yeah. I'd say like alternative electro, indie pop kind of mix of that all.
Yeah, the alternative was what I was missing there. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. Obviously the first song that came up was "Healing," which was really cool. Played it to my fiance too. She really fucks with it, which is
Thanks.
so that's pretty cool. And yeah, when did you start out with this? I mean, you've got a couple of songs out already.
Yeah, I actually started like posting music like on Instagram and stuff in like 2017, like my songs that I would write back then. And then I started posting demos like in 2019 on YouTube and SoundCloud and whatever. I eventually just like got to the point where my mom found I don't know if you know Dale Schnettler, the drummer of Prime Circle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was interviewing. I mean, there was like an advert on the radio or something that's he like to make music with him basically. And also Calvin Alston, which is Jack Atlantic, another like musician. So I went into studio with them and then we were supposed to make one song and then we ended up making like a whole album. And then we like eventually pitched the album to the label, which I'm signed to now, Just Music. And then they signed me and then we ended up like still remastering like the songs and going further. So it was actually it's been a very long, slow process that I've been doing this, but I've been making music my whole life and writing songs my whole life. And yeah, it's always been a passion of mine. I've just now, I guess, taking it more seriously.
Credit to your mom though, because that's a massive opportunity that worked out in the best possible way for you. Like,
Yeah,
your
for
your mom
sure.
was definitely behind you for this. If she spotted that and was like, you know what, this my son could definitely use this.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's sick. I mean, like to work with the drummer of Prime Circle and then the dude from Jack Atlantic as well. Those are two big names to work with.
Yeah, it was really fun and exciting. The songs were originally like more acoustic, almost like indie rock vibes, like healing. It was definitely not the song it is now. It was way more like chilled, I guess. And I don't know, they kind of inspired me to, I guess, take what my songs were and make them into these like big, like powerful, I guess, songs. And at first I was like, I don't know if I want to be like doing that, but I thought about it and that it actually worked out for the best. I feel I think I'll still eventually release like acoustic versions, but yeah, it definitely worked out.
Yeah, release them more in like their original states. That would make
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
I would love to hear that as well, just to hear what sort of influence they would have had on that. Um,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you said that a big one, and it turned out for the best for you. But it would be really interesting
Yeah.
to see that what the original product would have been without their influence as well.
Because also they really pushed me with that song. Like the chorus, like it was way more like as I said, like chilled. And like in the chorus I'm belting and like I still struggle to sing this song, like the belting parts in the chorus because it's just like really hard. So they really pushed me. It took like a whole day to just get the chorus down.
God damn, they slave
Yeah,
drove you, man. That's rough.
yeah, yeah,
And it doesn't help. Like, I don't know if you've also got that like overcritical musician vibe about you as well. You're like, nope, got to do it again.
yeah.
Nope, got to do it again.
Yep. And like it's hard now because like I would love to sing this song like live and have that full energy, but it's just yeah, it's really I don't know, it's hard. I'm still trying. I'm getting there though. I've gotten a lot better since I recorded the song. I won't lie, but it's still a struggle.
How long ago did the song come out?
In about yeah, like a year and a bit ago.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, like, there's the whole story, I'm sure you know, regarding Paramore and All I Wanted Was You.
Oh yeah.
And that song has been out for what, like over a decade? And
Yeah.
this recent tour that they launched, when they recently
Yeah.
like started touring again, that was the first time Paramore ever performed that song live.
Oh crazy. What?
So, like, because Haley did not believe she had the potential, like, the capacity to
Yeah.
pull that song off live. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's like a
Yeah,
decade
it's a hard
later.
song.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well,
Yeah.
that helps me a little bit. Thank you. I needed that.
I mean, that's like an international, like, standard and she
Yeah,
she expressed that. That's why they'd never performed that song live until like within the last year or so.
that's really crazy.
And then so you recorded so all the songs that are on Spotify at the moment are all the songs, those 10 songs, did you record all of those with the guys from Jack Atlantic and
No, not all of them. Um, there was actually two songs that Jack Atlantic wrote for me, or I guess he wrote for himself, and he just didn't think that the songs would work for him, so he gave them to me basically. But I don't know, I just didn't feel authentic to me, and some of the songs that we did, of my songs, they took them to, I don't know, I think they just made like they were too far away from what my vision was, if it makes sense. So I kind of scrapped those songs that I felt like didn't feel authentic. And then I ended up like showing Matthew Fink, who is the producer with Just Music, showing him some of my other demos that I've recently made. And then he was like, okay, yeah, these are actually really cool. And then we ended up taking those demos and making those demos better. And then even going back to the songs that they produced, Dale and Calvin, Jack Atlantic, and even like editing those songs and like taking out things I didn't feel were right and then adding things that I thought were better. I don't know. Yeah, it was just it took 3 years basically to make this whole album. But yeah, it wasn't originally all of the songs. I made Cigarette Break, and even that's changed so much since I made the album with Dale and them. Um, yeah, but like Robot Painted Gold, Dragonfly, Funny, Cigarette Break, and yeah, basically those songs are the only songs that I think I did with them, and the rest I
kind of redid it at a later stage?
yeah
Like authenticity is important though. Like it's completely understandable. I mean, like
yeah
you want to do something and you want to do what you love. It's funny because I spoke to Paul today from all this for nothing, and he was like, "Do what you love and be fucking good at it, and do what you love and
exactly.
do it well." And that comment stuck with me today. I've still got that fresh in my mind, and I agree with you 100%. Like if the fact that you had the backbone to stand up and be like, "Hey guys, even though this is a big influence and they've been doing this longer, you still had that, how do I say, that nerve to at least stand up and be like, this doesn't resonate with me."
I don't know, because I feel like if I'm performing a song that doesn't feel, I don't know, like doesn't feel like it's me, then I feel like it's harder to perform. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it becomes like, how do I move my body, or how do I like do anything really? I feel like when it comes from me, or when I feel authentic to the song, it's a lot easier to, I guess, perform with the songs.
Yeah. And what would you say your material mostly consists of? Like, what sort of concepts are you approaching? So obviously, like, is it about life experiences? Is it about
It's honestly anything really, like life experience, just like being inspired by like a tree or like a butterfly. I don't know. It comes from like, I would say like source actually. Like I feel like half the time the music I make, it doesn't come from me, even though it does. Like I write the songs and I make the music, but I almost feel like a fraud sometimes, because like I feel like when I make like this song, like a specific song, and it's like such a banger, for example, I'm like, how did I even how did I make that? I don't know. I feel like I have like, what's that word?
imposter syndrome?
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
have imposter syndrome, definitely. Because half the time I'm writing and I'm like, I don't even know what this means. And then like 6 months later, I ended up like relating to a song that I wrote 6 months ago. And I'm like, oh damn, it resonates now. And all the stuff I'm writing about in the specific song is actually happening now. And I'm like, damn, did I like predict the future? I don't know. It's just like the songs just like come through me. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Did I just foreshadow my future kind of deal?
Literally though, I'm not kidding. Like I'm not kidding. Like my songs relate to me like from even 2019. Like those songs are like resonating now more than they did then. And I was like, it's like weird. I don't know. It's so weird.
At the point of writing, it could have meant something different to you that it did 6 months later or a year later.
Definitely, yeah, for sure.
Songs that I enjoy now, that I enjoy listening to, had a different meaning to me, for instance, when I was a teenager or when I was younger.
And I think that's the beauty of music, to be honest, that it could mean anything.
Like definitely open to interpretation type of deal. And then like what are your plans like sort of going forward? Are you busy working on new music at the moment? Is it
I'm always working on new music. But my label, they've been really busy in Joburg, 'cause I'm in Joburg. but I'm moving to Cape Town in January, and obviously they have another like label there. As soon as I get to Cape Town, I'm probably gonna be going straight into studio and probably performing a lot more, and hopefully, yeah, making a lot more music. Because for me personally, I can't sit with like something for too long, if that makes sense. Like I drop an album, like cool, it has its time, but like once its time is kind of like starting to pass, like I want to move on, and I feel like I haven't really moved on right now because I want to go into studio and like make songs and whatever. But obviously my label's been busy, so I'm still making songs, but it's just like I'm in this limbo state right now where I'm like, just trying to, I guess, enjoy life and make music so that yeah, I have music because I literally have so many songs. Like I'm not kidding, like hundreds, like demos, everything, and like ready to go even like, and I'm yeah, I'm just like waiting to release all these crazy good songs because like the music I make or that I've been making recently is very different, I guess, to the album that I've released. Yeah, I'm very experimental. So like some of the songs I've made are very like electronic techno inspired, and like some songs are very like very indie sad boy vibe. And then like some songs, like I don't know, I like to be very experimental with my music. So I don't know, I don't even know where I'm going to take like what like where do I go from here? Like which route do I take? You know what I'm saying? Because I have so many like genres and albums to choose from. Like as an artist, I feel like it's good to evolve. Like if you keep making the same music, like it's you're just saying and stagnant, and you're not gonna go further even in like your own life if you're just choosing to like stick to one thing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like as humans, not just through music, but like we always need to be like changing and evolving and learning and growing. Like we never get to a point where we're like, okay, it's done. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I've been feeling that way like a crazy amount lately. Where it's just I do not want to be doing the same thing for the rest of my life. It's music itself is motion, it's movement, it's not something that is supposed to make you stagnate. This conversation got very philosophical very quickly. Uh,
Yeah.
where would you say that you draw inspirations from, like for the type of music that you make? Who did you look up to? Who did you kind of, which places did you pull from to put your music together?
It's probably gonna. I mean, it's a little embarrassing. Well, it's not embarrassing, but when I was young, I used to watch Hannah Montana, and like I was obsessed with Miley Cyrus. Um, so I don't know, ever since young, like I've looked up to her in a way, like because I wanted to be that. I wanted to be that like rock star on stage, basically. So yeah, I guess Miley Cyrus, my whole life has been my biggest inspiration to like just keep being you and stick to, what you want to do and just be yourself. The way she writes music is very similar to like the way I write music. Like she tells like stories. I don't know how to explain it. And I kind of also do like the same thing. But I also draw inspiration from like artists like Billie Eilish and Troye Sivan and Melanie Martinez. And I also draw inspiration from like genres like drum and bass and techno. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, my biggest inspiration is definitely Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus is also a good example of evolving over time because if you have to compare,
Yeah, exactly.
obviously the Disney Channel days to now,
Yeah.
also like a far cry. And you know what? She's one of the few people who actually did it right, in my
Yeah.
honest opinion. Like, I might not be the biggest Miley Cyrus fan, but you got to respect that out of hundreds of like child stars, like, from the Disney Channel who attempted to pursuing careers in music afterwards,
Yeah.
like, not many of them actually make it. And she has become one of the biggest artists, like,
No, she's definitely a legend.
I mean, there's a couple of songs of Miley Cyrus that I'm not ashamed to admit that I've enjoyed that are easily stuck in your head. So yeah, I wouldn't have seen that coming, like in terms of like inspirations. That's a really interesting one. Like, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And like, there's also a reason, that like, how do I say that it's iconic? It's because the music that was done in those shows was catchy. It got stuck in the heads
Yep.
of thousands of teenagers, and
Yep.
or if not like fucking millions. But it's yeah, the show was iconic and still this day, with something's like in meme history, it's made history like at this point.
Literally. literally, actually. Yeah, she's yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I love her so much. I don't know what it is. Even through her like crazy stage, I was still there. I was like 12 years old when she went through her crazy stage. So I guess that's not the best. I mean, not the best idol for a 12-year-old, but I mean, oh well.
You know what? You didn't turn out like so bad. So like what what's the worst
Exactly.
that could happen, you
Exactly.
know?
And honestly, thanks to Miley because she eventually evolved and I evolved with her, I think.
And then, like on the flip side of that, who would you say are like some of your favorite South African artists? Who do you look up to, you know, on your home ground type of deal?
I do like Matthew Moore. He's a very, very good artist. And Tyler, actually, I've been listening to her for a few years now. I can't believe how big she's gotten. And I don't know, I also like Will Linley. It's pretty cool.
I'm gonna be honest with you, the only one that I know I don't the only reason I know Tyler at the moment is because of how much she's blown up, especially on like social media and TikTok recently.
Yeah,
Matthew Moore is someone that I've known for years. I've seen a couple of his shows and it's absolutely fantastic to watch.
yeah, he's amazing.
And the last one, unfortunately, I don't know at all.
With his song, I don't know if you know it. It's it was like all over TikTok, like Miss Me When You're Gone or something like that. I don't know.
So part of what like I love so much about doing this is I've been exposed to so much more music than I would have listened to otherwise. And then when did you start making music? Because from what I'm understanding is that like you know you said you've been doing music your whole life. When did you discover that you had that passion for it?
When I was a child, I used to like always take my like parents' phones and like run around the garden and record like a voice note of just me singing songs that I'm making up just like on the spot. And I would just always do that. And then when I was 12 years old, I wrote my first song. And I'm not gonna lie, it's actually pretty good for a 12-year-old. And then I like didn't write a song for like another 5 years. It's when Billie Eilish like kind of came out. She kind of inspired me a bit more because it was kind of at the time the genre of music that I was drawn to and the genre of music I was kind of inspired to make. So in like 2017, I started writing again and just posting on Instagram and stuff. So yeah, I guess like it's been a whole life thing, but 2017 is when I like properly was like, I want to do this for real. Like I want to actually do this and I'm going to do it.
I find that there's always that catalyst. There's always that one point. So, you know, you said you picked it up and then you didn't write another song for like 5 years. There's always that, I find that tipping point where, you know, you enjoy it, but there's something that puts it into like your passion. That's your life's
Yeah,
work now. And it's obviously different for every artist, but everyone has
yeah.
that catalyst point, that turning point where they're like, I remember very vividly deciding, you know what, this is what I'm going to pursue now. This is who I am.
And I was also 16, 2017. I was
Nice,
16.
nice. I find that like that those years, like that anywhere from like 14 up to 18, a lot can happen in terms of deciding which way you want to go with your life. Because the amount of guys
Oh
who
yeah.
start playing around about that time, I think the biggest outlier that I've ever heard was the guitarist of the Parlotones, and
Oh yeah.
he only started playing guitar when he was in university, and that for me was the biggest outlier in terms of every artist that I've ever spoken to. And you know, sort of heard their story of starting out. He was the weirdest one in terms of how late he actually started.
Yeah, that is pretty late. I won't lie.
And then, like in closing off, where can people find you? Where can people find your music and get in touch with you?
Well, I'm on Instagram, Aidan John Fraser, AIDANJONFRASER, and on Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming services. My music videos are on YouTube. You can check out my YouTube, Aidan Fraser. Yeah, and my TikTok if you want, I guess, Aidan John Fraser as well. I'm not really on any other social medias as much as I should be, but
Social
yeah,
media work is
I
hard,
guess.
man. That's a whole other rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Like shit's hard, man.
tell me about it. Jeez.
But all the best, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat with
Thank
me
you.
today. And I hope you
Thank
have a
you. I
good day
really, really
further.
appreciate this. Thank you. You too.